Hey friends, I'm Lisa, and today I'm over here with Adrian. Hi Adrian.
Hey Lisa.
So Adrian is the owner of Sage Training Group here in Utah, and they have several courses if you want to learn how to shoot, if you have some experience but you want to become more confident. Adrian's here to help, so we're gonna go ahead and get started.
So the Handgun Fundamentals course really starts off with doing the basic safety rules, right? So it's the universal, the 4 safety rules, and these rules apply to everything. It's not just handguns. These are going to be for rifles, shotguns, virtually everything firearms related. The Fundamentals course goes from people who are shopping for brand new guns all the way to people who may have a gun but aren't totally comfortable with all the questions. And those questions usually involve, hey, pros and cons versus a semi-auto platform versus a revolver. How do I choose ammo? How do I shop for ammo? Ways to clean and maintain. And then the big one too for a lot of parents, new shooters, is going to be storage. So we'll go over different ways to store safely and kind of allow you guys to make the best decision possible, what's right for your family, right? And pull it all the way back.
What is this foolishness here?
A lot of foolishness.
Right.
Sure.
Okay. I was like,
and then if you want to, you can pull it back. There you
so
go.
this is where I feel like I need to practice, because sometimes I'll just like hang on to it, and then my hand will come back with it when I should just let go.
Just back and
Yeah.
let go. There you go.
Like a semi-automatic gun is more luxurious, so I prefer something that's a little more glamorous. So I would rather drive this than a revolver, right? But at that point, it's just like this actually works for me. This is convenient. This doesn't hurt my wrist, so I have to take all those things into account. And I would be carrying it with 3 kids, so I need something that's going to be fast and effective. I feel like a revolver is not as fast and effective as I want it to be.
It can be. It's really application. That's it.
And I don't have that much experience.
You should always go to your comfort level. Yep.
Yeah.
2 different types of bullets. So there's going to be 2 different types of rounds. The center fire, which if you look at it makes sense, right? You need to strike the center in order for it to ignite. So technically, if you had something that was off and the pin was just smacking around the side. But here with the 22, it's just a rim fire.
Okay.
So the primer is actually the entire thing here. You can see blue targets rimfire only.
Okay.
So what they're saying is these blue targets are going to be thinner, and so we're only going to hit them with rimfires. So things like 22s, 22 mags.
Shoot them with these.
Yeah, but if you were to shoot them with a center fire, these center fires carry more power, and so they're going to damage those steel targets. You understand that it's a great compromise when it comes to safety and accessibility, because people who have not been in the situation of actually needing their gun or feeling like they need it don't realize how fast it happens. And once that happens, you learn real quick of, holy cow, that was like 2-3 seconds. People are just living their lives, and they just usually have guns just to continue to enhance that. So, and you felt that too.
Yeah.
You had your experience.
Yeah.
So
last week, somebody tried to get in the car while the kids and I were in it, and normally I always have the gun in my backpack. But because my husband was with me, he had it in his fanny pack, and he left the car, and as soon as he got out of the car, I locked it, but the fanny pack was somewhere where I didn't see it right away. So I was looking around as this guy's trying to get in the car, and he's opening the trunk and trying to open the driver's side door, and I remember seeing the fanny pack and being like, okay, and finally like I got the gun out, and that was really fast, and I didn't load it because right as I was about to load it, Daniel walked in, but and the guy ended up walking away, but it was really fast. And all of that, like from the moment he tried to get in the car the first time to the moment the police got there and started talking to him, that was just 10 minutes at the most. It just happened really fast, and it made me realize, like, if I'm gonna have this, it would be best to have it on my body, but because I'm constantly chasing little kids, I'm gonna have to get creative. So now I've started carrying it in my diaper bag. But that day, like, he took the gun, but I wasn't aware of where it was. And that's another thing. Like, if we're sharing a gun, we're gonna have to improve that communication, and that's what I realized.
When it comes to gun stuff, a lot of people don't understand that it's really just a good, better, best kind of thing, right? People just think, well, if I'm going to carry a gun, then I'm going to carry it completely loaded, condition one, yada yada, at all times. That's not the best situation for all times, right? Or if you're in a situation where you do have a house gun, so you have spouses sharing, or whatever the situation may be, it completely changes all the time. So whether or not you keep it loaded, whether or not you keep the magazine separate, whether or not you guys share, whether or not it just stays on one person's body, or if it's in a purse or in a center console or whatever, it really comes down to communication. And it also just, it's a mature understanding that there's really no perfect way to do it.
No.
A lot of people will sit here and preach like, this is what I do because this is what's best. And honestly, my experiences actually go against most people, because I actually don't carry condition one all the time, like completely loaded, right? I carry it with a loaded mag, but unloaded, because in the handful of times, in those 3 times that I used it, actually keeping one not in the chamber was more beneficial, because I had an extra layer of safety, and I also had an extra deterrent.
And in that situation with somebody trying to break in the car, I did have the extra layer of safety that he's trying to break in my car, but my car is locked. I'm inside, I'm with the kids, I have a weapon on me, I can use the car horn. There are multiple other resources that I could have used before actually using the gun, and I did. I mean, I yelled at him, I told him to go away multiple times. He did, went away, and then came back and continued trying to get in the car. So I did continue yelling at him, but I didn't have to make that decision. Okay, if he does break in, am I going to use my gun? And how am I going to react? So I had the time to think that through, thankfully. But yeah, I didn't have the gun loaded. And I'm okay with that. I was fine with that decision, because I still would have had time if he tried to break in, because he was going to have to try to break in through the glass.
And that's in that situation, right?
Yeah.
There you go. Cool. And then with this one, it's actually just this little slide right here with these ridges. So just pull back 2 fingers, let go. Yep.
Okay.
And you're good.
Okay, so this is up here. So do I look through?
Yeah.
To see that?
So basically, no, you're not going to look at the sights, because this has it and it covers everything. You're just going to go and find the little red dot that's in that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Why is it
External safety. Right there. There you go.
See, this gun actually has a safety.
Yeah, it does.
Yay! This is the gun that I had on me when I was in the car and that guy was trying to break in. So it wasn't loaded, but the magazine was in.
Do you want to shoot the hollows, or do you want to shoot the target?
Yeah, I should probably
shoot
do
the
the others. Struggling. Get some footage of me struggling.
So with loading a mag, here's the
This is always a struggle.
Yeah, I know.
It's not
Especially if you have
I
nails.
struggle
You can do
too
it,
with
though.
my small fingers.
A lot of people can do the first round fine. It's when they get to the second and third, that's when things get stupid, right? Because they start like, oh, it's silly. So what you can do is you can kind of depress it a little bit and then use that to push.
Yeah,
Does
I
that
don't
make
have
sense?
the hand strength for all that.
I don't know. You
I
can
mean,
try.
I can do it, but not
You
that.
gotta get
You
some
strong. What are you talking
weights.
about?
That's what I was doing before. I still struggle. You're doing it. You're doing it.
Fight through it.
Don't watch me. This is honestly, it's my first time shooting with a red
A
dot.
lot of times when you first jump into a red dot, a lot of people hate it because they're like, oh, this will be easy because it's a red dot, and they get it and it just does this.
Yeah.
In the screen, you're like, So it does pick up those fine little motor movements. So if it helps, one little thing you can do with the red dot is instead of just trying to bring it up and hold it still on target, let it guide a little bit. And when you're letting it guide, you're essentially letting it guide in like a little figure 8, right? Mm-hmm. So since it already wants to do the drift, just control the drift. Does that kind of help or no?
Yeah.
So all you're doing is just until you're working through it, until you can come up and you're actually still on there. You're kind of just learning to drive it.
I feel like I'm leaning back.
Yeah, I was about to say, so it's just back in that aggressive stance. Do you notice the difference when you're more lackadaisical versus...
Yeah, because I'm like tense and going like this.
When you're relaxing, you're kind of like, when you're actually more aggressive, it just, in a way, it kind of relaxes and just hyper focuses on the things.
Yeah. Okay, let's do a few more. I do feel like I try to focus too much on hitting a small target.
Yeah.
And that gets really frustrating really quickly. And it makes me feel discouraged and like, oh, I just want to, I just want to get it.
Yep. I mean, that is a thing, aim small, miss small, right?
Yeah.
It's the idea of like, okay, if I aim for this, but then I hit in here, like I'm still good. As long as you know that that's why you're using it. I'm using it because I want my margin of error to shrink.
Yeah.
But if I don't hit within that margin of error, I'm still good. Like, I still shot him. It's about 18 yards-ish.
Okay. How far is that black target? 18?
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's what I mean. It's pretty far because most people are actually practicing at 7 to 10.
Okay.
Which is...
I feel like from here to there, I would be okay. Yep. But then that black target right there is where I was aiming.
When it's out at 18, you're going to see your fine little... right, imperfections or whatever you want to call them. They're going to maximize. But most people, when they're practicing stuff like this, defensive, it's literally going to be 7 to 10 kind of thing. So at max. Statistically,
is that how far somebody is if you try to shoot them?
Yeah. So for your hubby, with their police engagements, I believe that they're going to be doing most of their stuff at 7. Okay. But I think the actual stat is 7 and in, so within 3 to 5.
3 to 5 feet?
Yards.
Oh, yards, okay.
Yeah, if not feet. Realistically, yeah, it'll be something like this. So that's why it's more instinctive shooting.
Okay.
So
okay.
We're just practicing marksmanship, right?
Yeah.
We're kind of doing the marksmanship and the ironing out things. And just the more distance you have, the more you're going to see things. So you'll see the people who are jerking or doing whatever because you'll see at distance it'll continually hit left.
Yeah.
And low or whatever it may be.
So that is some of the things that you would be learning if you were to come to a class with Sage Training Group. And thank you, Adrian, for kind of showing me around and giving me some feedback on the shooting. I appreciate it, and I hope you guys like this video and reach out to Sage Training if you need any help. Thank you.